Special thanks to Patreon supporter Derek Frost Westbrook for making this video possible. Hello ladies and gentlemen, Skirtofo here bringing you another Minecraft Overdue Path to Build tutorial. In this tutorial we're going ahead and building the Jean Bart, part of the Richelieu class of French battleships. The Jean Bart was a French fast battleship, the second and final member of the Richelieu class, built as a response to the Italian Littoral class. The Richelieus were based on their immediate predecessors of the Dunkirk class with the same unconventional arrangement that grouped their main battery forward in two quadruple gun turrets. They were scaled up to accommodate a much more powerful main battery of 8 380mm or 15-inch guns, compared to the 330mm or 13-inch guns of Dunkirk, with increased armor to protect them from guns of the same caliber. Jean Bart was laid down in 1936 and was launched in 1940, following the outbreak of World War II in Europe. The ship was not completed by the time Germany won the Battle of France, and Jean Bart was rushed to Casablanca to escape advancing German troops. She had only one of her main turrets installed along with a handful of anti-aircraft guns. While in Casablanca, the French attempted to prepare the ship for action as much as possible in light of limited infrastructure and the necessary parts to complete the vessel. Her anti-aircraft armament was slowly strengthened as guns became available, and a search radar was fitted in 1942. In November, American and British forces invaded French North Africa in Operation Torch. Jean Bart initially helped to resist the attack, engaging in a gunnery duel with the battleship USS Massachusetts before being badly damaged by American dive bombers. Following the defection of the French forces in the region to the Allied side, the French attempted to have the ship completed in the United States, but the request came to nothing as the U.S. Navy had no interest in the project. Jean Bart was accordingly repaired as much as possible in Casablanca, thereafter spending the rest of the war as a training ship there. In 1945, discussions as to the fate of the ship considered converting her to an aircraft carrier, finishing her as a battleship, or discarding her altogether. The decision was ultimately made to finish her as a battleship, a process that took several years. Most work of the ship was completed by 1955, when she formally entered active service, and she conducted 2 overseas cruises to visit Denmark and the United States shortly after. For the first and last time of either of their careers, Richelieu and Jean Bart cruised together on January 30th, 1956. Jean Bart took part in the French intervention in the Suez Crisis in November 1956, including a brief 4-shot bombardment of Port Said. Reduced to reserve in August 1957, she was used as a barrack ship until 1961. She remained unused in the French Navy's inventory until 1970, when she was struck from the Naval Register and sold for scrap. So yeah, Jean Bart here, a very kind of awesome battleship that had a lot of potential and basically no history to her. It's kind of a sad thing to see, especially since this was a very kind of advanced type of battleship for its time in terms of its layout and in terms of its structure and stuff. You can definitely tell it's a more modern battleship compared to that of the definitely the earlier World War II type of battleship. So this is a cool one. Would have been interesting to see this thing actually kind of participate in some more actual action, but unfortunately, due to the French surrender, her career and her potential was just kind of limited. But it's a really cool ship and should make an awesome addition to your French navies. We don't really have any ships of the French Navy except, I believe, actually Dunkirk, which is what this class is kind of based off of. So you'll at least have this ship to kind of go along with it and kind of the peak, French battleship from that era. But without further ado, I do want to go and give a special thanks to Patreon supporter Derek Frost Westbrook for making this tutorial possible. If you guys are interested in supporting the channel more than you already do, feel free to check out my Patreon page. Link is always in my video descriptions, where you can go and put a small onto the channel every month, and in doing so, earn a vehicle request to your choosing. It really helps support the work I do on my channel. It's really greatly appreciated, so definitely feel free to check it out. Again, link for that stuff is going to always be in my video descriptions. With that though, let's go ahead and dive in here, take a look at Jean Bart. So Jean Bart, just like Dunkirk here, has the 2 quadruple gun turrets here in the front of the vessel. So you have your 4 guns here in the first turret, and then you have your secondary turret here that has those guns as well. Very interesting configuration in terms of its turrets, pretty large turrets as well, but kind of a common theme we saw for a lot of the late war, or I have to say late war, but some of the later designed French battleships. We then have the conning tower and the superstructure, which kind of compacts all the anti-aircraft batteries and secondaries in this kind of tight area here. Again, a very kind of modern battleship type of design. Obviously, the conning towers, nothing too fancy there. Lifeboats. Then we also have the funnel here that would be located on the back of the ship as well. On the back, we did have some more batteries, which were they were like secondaries, but kind of not. You have a line of secondaries on the side here, but these here are kind of like a larger caliber, kind of triple guns. Very interesting design to kind of give it its back complement, and we have a lot of like anti-aircraft type weaponry throughout the entire ship. So overall, really cool build. Should make a fun addition if you're looking for a nice kind of French battleship to add into your worlds. But without further ado, let's go ahead and move into the tutorial by beginning with our first layer. Moving into our first layer here, we're going to be going ahead and start with layer 1. Now, before we do, I do want to go and mention a few things here if you're completely new to my Map to Build tutorials. The first thing being that if you are new, the way I like to structure these tutorials, I like to do half on camera, half off for the first about 3 or 4 layers. For this build in particular, we'll probably do the first 4 layers. We'll do half on camera, and then the other half will be off of it. So what this basically means is that I'm going to be going ahead and building the center line of the ship, and then the entire right side. It'll be up to you guys to copy the right side over to the left side. Once we get to about layer 5, we will be going ahead and doing everything all together as we will get into the superstructure, and therefore we will be kind of carrying a little bit more complicated stuff. So that's kind of the plan for the build, and kind of how we're going to go ahead and proceed further with this. If you guys do want to build this in the water, which I imagine most of you guys will want to do, layer 1 here is going to sit 1 block underneath the water level. You can see the blue concrete here represents where our water level would sit, and you can see the layer 1 here is going to be 1 block underneath that. So very important, make sure that's all squared away and good to go. And once you're good with that, we can go ahead and get started. First thing we're going to do is we're going to place down a red stained glass pane, and we're going to go ahead and then place down a row of red concrete going all the way down the center line here of the ship for a total of 40 blocks. We'll then place down 2 brick top slabs, a acacia wood trapdoor. We're going to go then skip a space, place down a brick up sound stair, and 2 red concrete blocks like so, and that is going to make the center line of your ship like that. After that's done, we want to go ahead and begin with by going ahead and placing down a brick top slab that's going to come off the side of this red concrete block here on the very rear. And we're going to go ahead and then go forward from it with 2 brick stairs. Going ahead and going back from the top side, we're going to place down 2 end rods, or not end rods, but lightning rods, a acacia wood fence gate, which will open toward the trapdoor here, and then an acacia wood sign here on the side like so, as well as a birchwood slab that's going to be on the side of this acacia wood fence gate. With that all done, we're going to then place down an acacia wood fence gate that's going to come, a birchwood slab that will come off that slab there. We're going to go ahead and then place down another acacia wood fence gate, like so, and just like we did before, a acacia wood sign coming off the fence gate like that. We're going to go ahead and then place down a row of 2 of lightning rods going back, and then we're going to take our red concrete after those brick stairs there. We're going to place down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and 30 red concrete blocks forward, 2 brick walls, and a red stained glass pane. We're going to go ahead and then go to the 3rd red concrete block from front. We're going to place down a red stained glass pane at the side here, 2 brick walls after that, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and 21 red concrete blocks back. Again, 2 brick up sound stairs and a brick top slab there to go ahead and round off the back. We're going to go to the 2nd red stained glass pane from the back there. We're going to place down the red concrete block. And then we're going to go ahead and place down our red stained glass pane on the side. And we're going to go and then go 3 more forward. So total 4. We're going to go ahead and place down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 brick up sound stairs. And then 1, 2, 3, 4 red stained glass panes like that to go ahead and finish off the sides there. Once we have that all done right there, that is going to wrap up everything we have here for layer 1 of the build. I'll go ahead and give you guys a top-down view for it if needed. And this right here is what your layer should look like from a top-down view. With that all complete though, that's going to wrap up everything we have for layer number 1 of the build. And with that, we'll be going ahead and moving on to our next layer, which will be layer number 2. Moving into our next layer, we move it into layer number 2. For layer 2 to start with, we're going to place down a brick wall on top of this red stained glass pane here. And we're going to go and then go back from the brick wall for a row of red concrete. This here is going to be a total of 45 blocks, and then a brick up sound stair and a brick top slab. We then want to place down an acacia wood trapdoor to the side of this stair here, a brick top slab and a brick up sound stair going forward. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, and 37 red concrete blocks forward, a brick wall, and 2 red stained glass panes like that to bring us up to the front there. We're going to go ahead and place down a red stained glass pane coming off the side of this 3rd from the front red concrete block, a 2nd glass pane back, a brick wall, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, and 26 red concrete blocks back. I'm going to go and double check the count here for this just to make sure everything is correct, and it should be 26 red concrete blocks in total. After we have that done, we want to go ahead and then place down 2 brick ups downstairs, and then we want to place down 3 red stained glass panes along the side there, going back from the stairs. With that done, we then want to go ahead and go to our 4th red concrete block here from that brick upside down stair there. We're going to place down a red stained glass pane, 2 more 4s, a total of 3, then 3 brick walls, and then we're going to place down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 red concrete, 1, 2, 3 brick walls, and 1, 2 red stained glass panes to bring us to the front. After that's all complete, that's going to do it for layer number 2 of the build, and with that, we'll be going ahead and moving on to our next layer, layer number 3. Moving into our next layer, we have layer 3. For layer 3 to start with, we're going to place down a stone block on top of this wall right here, and then we're going to go ahead and then go back from this stone block with a long row of stone all the way down the center line of our ship for a total of 47 blocks, ending on top of this brick top slab, and we're just going to place down a stone up-down stair here on the very back. After we have that done, we're going to place down a stone up-down stair coming off this full block here. And then we're going to place down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, and 41 stone blocks forward, a andesite wall, 2 light gray stained glass panes, and then if you're on Java, we're going to place down 2 iron trap doors. Now, on Java, we can go ahead and type in the command /give space @p Minecraft :debug _ stick. So this command right here, press enter will give you a glowing stick that will look just like this. And what we can do here is we can left click these trapdoors until we get selected open false, and then we'll right click these and lay them flat against the side. Now you can also go ahead and opt out of not doing the trapdoors if you're on a different version and don't have the debug stick, or you can use virtual trapdoors, but if I would probably recommend, if you don't have the debug stick, not to include the iron trapdoors at all. We're going to go ahead and place down our iron trapdoor on this stone block here, so that's the second one, and we're going to place down, or we're going to close it like so. We'll then take our light gray stained glass panes, we're going to place down 1, 2 blocks back along the side here, and then an andesite wall. Then taking our stone, we're going to go back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, and 29 stone blocks back, 2 andesite walls, 2 light gray stained glass panes, and a iron trap door, again, which will close with our debug stick. Now, after that is done, we want to go ahead and then go to our 3rd and 4th iron trap doors from the back on the side here. We're going to go ahead and close those again with our debug stick. After that, we're going to place down our 3 light gray stained glass panes, 3 andesite walls, and then a row of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 stone blocks, and then 1, 2, 3 andesite walls, and then 1, 2 light gray stained glass panes, and then 2 more iron trapdoors going forward. Again, we'll close with our debug stick. And after that is all done there, that is going to wrap up everything we have there for layer number layer number 3 for the build. And again, take a look at it from up above. This we should have from the top-down view once both sides are transferred over. Anyways, though, again, that's going to complete what we have for layer 4, and we'll be going ahead and moving on to our next layer. Layer 3, and we'll be moving on to our next layer, layer 4. Alright guys, so moving into our next layer here, we have layer 4. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, this will be the last layer we'll be doing half on, half off. After this, we will start to dive into the superstructure, which is a bit more detailed, so we'll be going ahead and kind of doing that all both sides all together. Anyways, though, let's go ahead and get started with this. First thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and go up to the front up here, and we're going to place down a stone block on top of this one from the previous layer, as well as a light gray stained glass pane coming off that stone block going forward. Coming off that glass pane, we're going to place down an item frame and then a crossbow with the item frame facing downwards for a forward anchor. Going back from the stone block, we're going to place down 2 more stone blocks like so, and then we want to go and then place down a row of the stripped birch wood. Now this here is going to be quite a bit length of row. It's going to be going back from those 3 stone blocks, going all the way back to the end here for a total of 45, ending right before this stone stair here on the back. On the very back of the ship here, we're going to place down a stone block on top of that stone stair, an item frame, and just like we did in the front, a crossbow in the item frame facing downwards for the rear anchor. To the side, we're going to place down a light gray stained glass pane, and then we're going to go ahead and place down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stone blocks forward. We're going to just go ahead and switch to our stripped birch wood, and we're going to place down a row of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25 like that going forward. I'm going to go and double check my count here, make sure everything is good to go, and it should be 25 here in total. One thing to keep in mind is you want to make sure that your strip birchwood is all facing the same direction, so as you can see, it's all consistent. If you do change the angle at which you place a block, it will kind of throw off the angling of it, so you can kind of see, for an example, like here, you can kind of see it froze off the texture. So just try to keep it all consistent and aligned to make sure everything lines up a little bit better. And after this 25 version, you'll go a little bit further toward the front. So we have 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, and 33. So it's going to go a little bit further forward. We're going to go ahead and place down 1, 2, 3, 4 stone blocks, 2 andesite walls, 2 light gray stainless panes, and then the iron trapdoor, which we'll go ahead and close using our debug stick like that. After that, we're also going to place down our iron trapdoor on the second stone block here. We'll close that. 2 light gray stainless panes, andesite wall, and then we're going to place down a row of stone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 stone. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, or a little less than that. It's going to be 16 here in total, like that. We're going to go ahead and take our stone. We're going to go back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then our andesite walls, 1, 2, and then our light gray stainless panes, 3, and then our 2 iron trapdoors, again, which will close like that. So it is going to look something just like that. Now going to the outside here on top of these iron trapdoors, we're going to place down 2 more. Again, we'll close those using our debug stick here, and then we're going to place down our 3 light gray stainless panes, our 3 andesite walls, and our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 stone blocks, our 3 andesite walls, our 3 light gray stainless panes, and our 2 iron trapdoors. Again, we'll close those trapdoors manually, like so. Now, after that's done, starting out this stone block, we're going to place down polished black stone buttons on the sides of anywhere we have stone blocks available. So, along this side here, these 2 blocks on the back, and we will not place it down this 1 block there. And we're going to do the same thing over here on this side, obviously. And once you have that all done right there, that is going to complete everything we have here for layer number 4. Take a look at it from the top-down view. This is what it should look like from up above. And as the last layer, we are going to be going ahead and doing the half-on, half-off. From here on out, we will be going ahead and building the whole ship, every layer all together. So with that, let's go ahead and move on to our next layer, layer 5. Alright guys, so going ahead and moving into our next layer, we have layer 5. For layer 5, to go ahead and get started with here, we're going to place down an andesite wall here on the front, and we're going to go ahead and place down a iron bar that is going to sit directly on top of that, like this. Going back from this, we're going to take our deep slate tiles, we're going to place down 3 deep slate tiles, and we're going to go ahead and place down a skeleton skull at a slight angle on top of these iron trapdoors, like this to both sides. We then want to place down 1, 2 deep slate tiles back, 1, 2 on this side as well. We're also going to place down 2 skeleton skulls on the sides here, like that. And then in the middle here, we're going to place down 2 daylight detectors, which will turn to our night mode like so. We're also going to place down 2 rows of 3 of our daylight detectors like this going back, and we're going to make sure we turn those all to that night mode like so. We're going to go ahead and place down a birchwood trapdoor in the middle, a dark oak wood trapdoor to both sides, and then we're going to place down a row of 3 of birchwood trapdoors across. At this point, we want to go ahead and then grab ourselves some birchwood fence gates and some end rods and some polished blackstone stairs. We're going to place down 2 birchwood fence gates here, and we're going to open these fence gates toward the front of the ship. So it's going to go that way. Behind these fence gates, we're going to place down a polished blackstone stair, one out to both sides, and then coming off the side stairs, we're going to place down 2 end rods going forward like that to go ahead and set up the barrels for our first gun. We're going to go ahead and then place down a row of 3 of stone, and this is going to be followed with a second row of 3. And then after we have that done, we want to go ahead and then place down a row of 3 of stone upside down stairs with a skeleton skull on both ends. We'll also take our birchwood trapdoors and we're going to place down 5 along the side here. And same thing over here, 5 along the side. Once that's complete there, we want to go ahead and then place down a item frame that is going to sit underneath this skeleton skull. So like this, and this can be mainly a Java feature, and then we're going to place down a yellow stained glass paint in it like that to kind of help keep a little bit more consistency in the deck color. But again, that right there is going to be more of a Java feature. After that's done, we want to go ahead and then place down a redstone repeater here in the center, which we're going to go ahead and separate the notches like so. We're also going to place down a skeleton skull to both sides of that repeater like that. And then going back from the skeleton skulls, we're going to place down a end rod, or rather, sorry, a stone button on both sides here, and we're also going to take our birch pressure plates and we're going to place down 2 to both sides. In this center space here, we're going to go ahead and grab ourselves a piston, and we're going to place down a piston here in the center. We're going to leave that as for right now, and then a stone, or then just a lever to both sides. If you are not Java, I would recommend instead of the piston to go ahead and use a slab of some sort instead as an alternative. Behind this, we're going to place down a stone block, and then to the sides of the stone block, we're going to place down an andesite wall. We're going to go ahead and take our stone blocks, we're going to place down 2 rows of 3, and actually, sorry, 3 rows of 3, going across here. And on the first 2 rows, we're going to go ahead and take iron trapdoors, place them on the sides, and again, using our debug stick here, we're going to close those trapdoors and have them lay flat. Again, they're not an essential part of the build, so you can delete them and or place something different if you are a different version. We'll also place down a light gray stainless pane to both sides of this section here. Now, we also want to go ahead and place down an andesite wall that's going to sit right here on top of this block, and that's going to be on both sides there. Now, we're going to be going ahead and using a little bit of magic here with our debug stick by placing down a block here kind of at an angle from the wall, and then a tripwire hook. We're going to take our debug stick, we're going to left click the tripwire hook until we get selected facing. We'll right click this and rotate this tripwire hook around until it looks like it comes off of the wall. And we're going to do the same thing over here as well for this anti-aircraft gun battery. We can also go ahead and go a little bit extra and actually extend the wall like that out to the sides here. This may take a little bit more playing around with, but basically, depending on the position of your ship, you can actually extend one side of the wall out to kind of meet that tripwire hook, and it kind of helps create those anti-aircraft guns we're going for a little bit better. After that's done though, we're going to take our stone blocks, we're going to go ahead and place down 1 back from those glass panes, and actually we're going to follow this up with a second one. So you have 2 going back, and in the middle space here, we're just going to go ahead and fill this in with 2 rows of 3 of the stripped birchwood. We then want to place down a light gray stainless pane to the side of this stone block here. And then going back from this glass pane, we're going to place down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 stone blocks, and the same thing will be done over here on this side as well. On the side of the stone blocks, we're going to place down our polished black stone buttons. Same thing over here. And we're also going to go ahead and grab our birchwood pressure plates, and we're going to place down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 along the side here, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 like that. With that done, we can go ahead and then fill the inside space in here with our stripped birchwood, and we're just going to bring this all the way back until we get to our in line with our stone rows. So it's going to go just like this all the way down the centers like that. Now after that's done, we're going to go ahead and then place down 1, 2, 3 andesite walls, and 1, 2, 3 andesite walls like that. Again, we're going to go ahead and fill this in across with our stripped birchwood. So like that. Then this section here can be a little bit different. We're going to place down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 stone blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Again, the inside here, we're going to go ahead and fill in with our stripped birchwood. Bring this all the way back to this point here. Then with that done, we want to go ahead and then place down 1, 2, 3 light gray stainless panes, 2 iron trapdoors, again, which will close, and then we're going to place down our polished black stone buttons, so 1, 2, and over here, same thing, 1, 2, iron trapdoors, and our 3 light gray stainless paint, so it's going to look just like that. After we have that done, we're going to go ahead and then place down a andesite wall here, and here, and then a row of 3 of stone blocks across this space. We're going to place down 3 stone blocks down the center, and we'll then grab ourselves our birchwood slabs. We're going to place down 1, 2, 1, 2 to the sides, and then also taking skeleton skulls, we're going to place down 1, 2 skeleton skulls and 1, 2 on both ends. We're also going to place down an andesite wall to come off those 2 slabs there, and just like we did before, we're going to go ahead and place down a tripwire hook that is going to be coming off these. Again, so kind of more of a Java technique here. We're going to go ahead and have those coming off those walls like so. And we will also extend the walls in the direction here like so to make them look nice and work good with that. And underneath the tripwire hooks, again, for Java players, we can go ahead and also add in our item frames, and we can put yellow stained glass to kind of help keep the deck color a little bit more consistent. And we're going to go and do another set of our andesite walls, and we're going to do the same exact thing here. So our tripwire hooks, and we're going to go ahead and rotate these around like so. And again, we're going to extend our walls to connect up to them like so. And lastly, item frames underneath those tripwire hooks, glass panes in those item frames, and then we're just going to go ahead and take a redstone repeater, place it in the center here between them, which we're going to rotate around like that. And then we want to go ahead and grab our redstone dust, and we're going to place down a redstone dust piece here in the center, birch pressure plate to both sides, and then 2 iron bars going up on the very last stone block. And once we have that all done right there, that's going to complete what we have there for layer number 5. As you can see, it's really just kind of setting the basis for us to continue working on the superstructure and getting that built up. But here's an overview from the top-down view of what it should look like. And with that, we'll be going ahead and moving into our next layer, which will be layer number 6 of the build. Moving into our next layer, we have layer number 6. For layer 6 to go ahead and get started with here, we're going to go and grab our daylight detectors here, and also some iron trapdoors that we'll be using. We're going to start off by taking our iron trapdoors. We're going to place our row 3 across this front section here, daylight detector, which will turn to that night mode, and then an iron trapdoor to both sides, and another row 3 of daylight detectors all the way across, and we're going to turn those to night mode, and that's going to complete the turret top. With that, we're going to go ahead and go back to this section here. We're going to place down 3 polished blackstone stairs across, and just like we did for the front turret, we're going to go ahead and place down 2 birchwood fence gates, open these up toward the front like so, and then taking our end rods, we're going to place down 2 end rods going off the polished blackstone stairs going forward like so. Also, for my Java players, we can go ahead and go to this piston here, and we can just right click that to get rid of that wood portion like so. After this, we're going to take our stone blocks. We're going to place down 2 rows of 3 going across, and then a row of 3 of stone up down stairs. We'll take our skeleton skulls and we're going to place down a skeleton skull on both sides of these stone up down stairs like so. After that is done, we want to go ahead and then place down a quartz slab here to both sides like so, as well as a andesite wall, and we're going to go ahead and do the same technique that we have been doing before with our debug stick for my Java players. So it's going to look something kind of like this, so like that, and then right next to it we're going to go ahead and also place down a pressure plate like so, and same thing we're going to go ahead and just do over here real quick. And make sure we have it facing this way, and just like that. Now after that's done, we want to go ahead and then grab ourselves a stone brick slab. We're going to place down a stone brick slab here, and then a birchwood fence gate coming off the stone brick slab opened up toward it. We're going to go ahead and also grab ourselves a piston, and we're going to place down a piston with a space back, and our birchwood fence gate, which will open up toward the piston, and then we're going to go ahead and then skip another space, a stone brick block here in the center, birchwood fence gate. We want to go ahead and then place down a smooth quartz slab, another stone brick full block, birchwood fence gate opened up toward it, another piston, birchwood fence gate opened up toward it, a stone brick slab, and a birchwood fence gate coming off that. And that's going to kind of form your secondary batteries on the side here, and we're going to go ahead and repeat the same process just over here to the opposite side. So again, it's just the same thing here on both sides of the ship. So just like that. Now after that's done, again for my Java players, we'll go ahead and use a little technique here to go ahead and keep the deck color a little bit more consistent, and that's just by going ahead and grabbing item frames and place them underneath the fence gates wherever you can. And then what this will do is kind of help create a little bit better deck color, and you're really only going to be able to do it on the first kind of spacing here between these turrets. Unfortunately, the back ones you won't really be able to do. So we're just going to go ahead and do it on these forward batteries, but it does help a little bit when looking at it from the top-down view. Now, once we have that all done there, we want to go ahead and grab some light gray stainless panes. We're going to place down a stone block that's going to be in the center right here, and a light gray stainless pane to both sides. We'll then place down a row of 3 of stone full blocks, followed by a second row of 3, and then 2 light gray stainless panes on the sides there. Once we have that all complete, we're going to go ahead and actually place down another row of 3 of stone across, and another light gray stainless pane to the sides. At this point, we're going to place down a row of 5 of stone full blocks across. Then we want to go ahead and place down a andesite wall to both sides, and then a row of 3 of stone blocks down the center. We're going to place down another row of 5 of stone full blocks, a row of 3, and then a andesite wall to both sides. Then we're going to place down a row of 3, again of stone, and it's going to be row 3. Then we have a second, third, 4, 5, and 6 rows of 3 of stone going across here. Taking our light gray stainless panes, we're going to place down a total of 4 on the side here, and same thing over here, 4 along the side. Also, one quick thing I'm going to go ahead and adjust here is I am going to go ahead and replace the center here with our gray wool, and we're going to go ahead and basically take this all the way up to the front of the ship right here. So we're going to go and just bring it to that point there and leave it. And we can also put our gray wool in on these sections here, as long as the gray wool is not showing from the side of the ship. So like this side, then you're pretty much good to go. So we'll just do that there. Then continuing on, we want to go ahead and take our item frames. We're going to place down 2 item frames on those stone blocks. And in those item frames, we're going to go ahead and place down white beds for some lifeboats. Then continuing on here, we're going to go ahead and then place down a andesite wall to both sides with a gray wool block here in the direct center. And then coming off that gray wool block, we're going to place down a stone block, which is going to be followed with a light gray stainless pane to both sides of it, like so. Now for our other secondary guns we have on the back here of the ship, we're going to place down a piston. That's going to go here to both sides. Then a stone up sound stair on both sides. And then we're going to go and then place down a lightning rod coming off the piston, and you want to make sure that the lightning rod is kind of angled so that it's coming off like this, so that that thicker portion is toward the piston. Again, an alternative here to the piston can be to use just a stone stair or a stone full block. Either one is up to you guys, but whatever you prefer to use, feel free to use it. Then on the sides here of the end rod, we can actually go ahead and place down birchwood signs coming off of it. And this helps create our triple barrel secondaries that we have on the stern here. Also underneath it, again, for my Java players, we can go ahead and do the technique with our item frame and yellow stained glass for that deck coloring. And that'll be done on both sides here. Like that. After that is done, we want to go ahead and then place down a redstone repeater. That's also going to be in the center here. So just like that. And we do want to go ahead and place down a item frame that is going to be on these sections here. So an item frame there on both sides, and in those item frames we're going to go ahead and have our white beds just like that. And after we have that complete there, in the center we're just going to go ahead and place down a daylight detector and turn that to our night mode just like that. Alright guys, so real quick before we move on to continue on to the back, I do want to go and make one quick change here. We're actually going to shift these andesite walls back one right here, and we're also going to go and shift the glass panes back as well. This block right here of gray wool, we're actually going to replace with a stone block, and we're going to go and then delete those light gray stainless panes like that. We're going to go then move our redstone repeater into this space here, and we're also going to go ahead and move our beds, or item frames and our beds like that back as well. We'll leave the daylight detector there, and we're going to go and then place down a birchwood pressure plate to both sides, as well as we'll go ahead and take some gray wool or gray carpet. We're going to place down gray carpet and a skeleton skull like that on top of that stone block, and that's going to kind of fix that situation there. At this point in time, we can also take our debug stick, and for my Java players, we're going to go ahead and right click at the pistons, extend it to true. It'll get rid of that wood portion and just kind of help give us a better overall shape. For the build, you can also do it for up front there as well, and again on the sides. So just like that, really nice little technique there to help our turrets look a little bit better. But anyways though, that is going to wrap up everything there is there for layer 6 of the build. Taking a look at it from the top down view, this is what it should look like. And with that, we'll be going ahead and moving into our next layer, which will be layer number 7. Moving into our next layer, we'll be moving into layer number 7. For layer 7 to go ahead and get started with here, we're going to go ahead and take our iron trapdoors. We're going to place down a row of 3 across. And then we want to place down a daylight detector here, turn this to night mode, iron trapdoor to both sides again, and another row of 3 of daylight detectors across. After that, we're going to place down a stone block here, a skeleton skull coming off the stone block, and then another skeleton skull to the sides of it. We're going to take our stone blocks, we're going to place down 2 more blocks here down the center, a light gray stainless pane on both ends here, and then we're going to place down another glass pane like that going back. Coming off those glass panes, we're going to place down an andesite wall to both sides like that. And we then want to go ahead and place down another stone block in the center here, and another light gray stainless pane to both ends. This will be followed up with an anvil, like so. Once we have that complete there, we do want to go ahead and take our iron bars, and we're actually going to go ahead and replace the stone blocks right here with gray wool. And we'll do the same thing right there in that section like that. We're going to take our iron bars, we're going to place down 1 and 2 iron bars down the center here, and then a stone full block. Once we have that done on the sides of the iron bars, we're going to place down 2 quartz top slabs. And we then want to go ahead and place down a andesite wall that's going to be right here, and then a birchwood fence post, andesite wall, and a birchwood fence post. For these andesite walls, or this andesite wall right here, we're going to be using the same technique that we've done before for our anti-aircraft guns. So I'm not going to go ahead and spend too much time elaborating on them, but it is the same exact design that we've used before, and that will be located here on both sides of the ship here. So just like that. And then after we have that done, we're going to place down another andesite wall here to both sides. This will also be done up with a light gray stainless paint. Then take our stone full blocks. We're going to place down 1, 2, 3 stone full blocks down the center. This will be accompanied with 1, 2, and 3 light gray stainless paints. 1, 2, 3, and then a andesite wall right here. We're going to go ahead and also place down an end rod that is going to be in the on top of those andesite walls like that there. Now these andesite walls here again are going to receive the same treatment that we did for the forward one there, and that's going to be the technique using our tripwire hooks. So we'll again be using that technique here to go ahead and make this. So I do need to get my debug stick here back as I did lose it. But yeah, so we're just going to go ahead and take this, change the direction, and extend these toward those blocks. And then on the other side here, same thing. And extend and rotate them. And then extend the walls in their direction. So and just like that. So once we have that done there, that's it for that. And we'll continue on with a stone stair that is going to go in this spot here. It's actually going to be rotated around so it faces that direction. And then behind that, we're going to place down a stone upside down stair, which will be followed with a piston, just like we did before, a lightning rod, like this, going back. And we then want to go ahead and place down a birchwood sign to both sides of the lightning rod. We'll take gray carpet, and on the sides of these 3 blocks here, we're going to place down gray carpet. And we're also going to go ahead and grab ourselves item frames. And also some white beds. And we're going to place down 3 item frames here. And white beds in those item frames. So it's going to look like that. And we can also take our debug stick here and just right click that piston. Go ahead and get rid of that wood portion. And that right there is going to complete everything for layer 7. Again, take a look at it from up above. That's what it should look like from the top down view. And as you can see, your ship's really starting to come together. We're getting pretty close to finishing her off. So that's it for layer 7, and let's go ahead and move on to layer 8. Moving into our next layer, we have layer 8. For layer 8 to go ahead and get started with here, we're going to go ahead and begin with by going ahead and placing down a stone stair that's going to be on top of this block here. We'll then follow this up with a skeleton skull to both sides of the stair, like that, and then a birchwood sign going across the front of it. Once we have that done, we want to go ahead and then place down another stone block here. This will be followed with a stone stair to both sides of that stone block, as well as a birchwood sign on the front side here of that stair. After we have that done, we're going to go ahead and then place down another stone full block here in the center and another stone stair that's going to go back on both sides. However, this time we're going to go ahead and place down a skeleton skull that's going to go on top of that andesite wall. After that is done, on the back here, we're going to go ahead and place down a andesite wall in the direct center. This will be accompanied with a skeleton skull to both sides of that andesite wall. On top of the iron bars, we're going to go ahead and place down a white bed. It's going to sit here like so. And we also want to go ahead and place down a lever on top of the pistons here. And again, this can be done with our debug stick here. You can also use a skeleton skull or whatever as a replacement for this. And we're going to go ahead and change the left click this, change the face to floor. And we want to make sure that those levers are facing backwards. So just make sure they're pointing toward the back. Then after we have that done, we're going to take our end rods. We're going to place down 1, 2, 3, going back. And over here, same thing, 1, 2, 3. Just one thing to note is that your walls may shift here and it may ruin these anti-aircraft guns. If that's the case, just go ahead and make sure that you fix them on both sides of the build the best you can. Unfortunately, it does happen just with the way the blocks get updated and stuff like that, but you'll just have to fix those on both sides if it does happen. And then we're just going to go ahead and place down a skeleton skull that is going to go on top of this end rod at a slight angle like this. Once we have that done, we want to go ahead and then also take our stone blocks. We're going to place down 2 stone blocks down the center here. We'll take our stone brick stairs, and we're going to place down a stone brick upside down stair to both sides. And then we're going to place down a gray carpet going back from that. Once we have that all done there, we're going to go ahead and then place down a stone upside down stair right here and a redstone repeater. We're going to separate the notches from each other like so, and we'll also grab a flower pot, and we're going to place down a flower pot here on these 2 glass panes. Now on the very back here, we're going to go ahead and place down an anvil that's going to sit on top of that stair. We'll grab ourselves an item frame. We'll place down an item frame coming off of it, as well as a iron bar in the item frame, and then we just want to go ahead and grab a end rod, and we're going to place it down to both sides of the anvil like that. And after that's all done, that is going to wrap up everything we have there for layer number 8 for the build. And at this point in time, we're probably just going to move into our last final layers and go ahead and wrap up what we have left for the build. Again, here's an aerial overview of what it looks like from the top-down view. And with that, we're going to go ahead and move into the last section of the tutorial, which will be our last final layers to go ahead and complete the top of the conning tower and mast and all that. So with that, let's move into our last final layers. Moving into our final layers, we have layers 9 through 14. For these layers to go ahead and get started with here, we're going to go ahead and go into our conning tower and place down a stone block here. And we're going to go ahead and grab light gray stainless panes, and we're just going to go ahead and wrap them around the front section here of that stone block. We're going to place down another stone block back from it, as well as an andesite wall to both sides here. And after we have that done, we're going to place down another stone block here in the center. This here will be followed with a light gray stainless pane again to the sides. Coming off this andesite wall, we're going to place down a skeleton skull to both sides of the conning tower. And after we have that all complete, we're going to use our debug stick to place down a lever on top here, in which we're going to go and then left click, and we're going to go and set this to basically be on the floor. So it's going to look like this. Same thing over here. And we want to make sure that these are facing toward the outsides. So we can rotate these and have these facing outwards like so. Now after that's done, we're going to go ahead and then have a tripwire hook come off of those. So we're going to place down a tripwire hook to the sides here of those stone, or the side there of the levers, and we're going to place down our tripwire hooks like this. And again, we'll use our debug stick here to go ahead and rotate these so it looks like they come off the lever. And same thing will be done over here on this side as well. Just like that. Now after that is done, we want to go ahead and then place down a stone stair that is going to go on top of this section here. And we're going to go ahead and then grab ourselves our birchwood fence posts, and we're going to go ahead and build 2 fence posts up. On the front fence post, we're going to go ahead and have a tripwire hook coming off that as well. So like that. And then on the back fence post, we're going to have a lever coming off of it. So basically the same concept, like that, rotate around so it comes off of it like that. We're also going to go ahead and grab ourselves an anvil, and we're going to place down an anvil here, followed by an item frame coming off of it and an iron bar toward the front. On the sides of the anvil, we're also going to go ahead and grab end rods. We're going to place down an end rod to both sides, as well as a daylight detector on top of the anvil turned to that night mode like so. And then on this one stone block right behind it, we're going to go ahead and just grab ourselves some gray carpet, and we're just going to place down a gray carpet, so like that. After we have that done, we want to go ahead and then place down a lever, or rather an end rod that's going to come off that fence post there. And we also want to go ahead and grab ourselves a iron trapdoor, and we're going to place it on the top here, and an iron bar going forward, and then one iron bar out to the sides there, as well as an end rod on top of this lever, and then a iron bar on top of it like that to go ahead and complete your front mast. So that's it for your front conning tower and your mast. Let's go ahead and move on to the back here. Now the back, we're going to go ahead and place down a stone block that's going to go on top of this space here, as well as an iron trapdoor on top of the 2 stone brick stairs. This will also be followed with an item frame coming off the side of the end rods, or an iron frame coming off the side of the iron trapdoors, which are actually going to swap out the iron trapdoors for a fence gate, which will open up toward the stone full block. In those item frames, we're going to place down snowballs. And then after that, we're going to go ahead and place down a stone block going back down this way, and then a polished black stone slab in this space here. We also want to go ahead and grab a daylight detector. We're going to place down a daylight detector here on top of this anvil and we're going to turn that to night mode as well. We're going to repeat the same anvil design on top of here. We have our daylight detectors, our end rods to both sides, and of course we are going to need our item frames like this, and our iron bar and our iron frame like that to go ahead and make those gun director systems. Now, once we have that done, we want to go ahead and then grab our birchwood fence posts. We're going to go ahead and place down 1, 2, 3 fence posts up. Come off the third fence post toward the back. We're going to place down a lever. And we're going to go and rotate this around like we did before for D-book stick, so that it basically connects up to the fence post, or looks like it does. On top of the fence post, we're going to place down an iron bar, and then we'll went out to both sides. We'll also go ahead and grab ourselves some flower pots, and on top of the lever, we're going to place down a flower pot, and the center iron bar, we're going to place down a flower pot as well. And once you have that all complete there, that is going to wrap up what we have there for our last final layers of the build. And with that, that's going to wrap up my tutorial here for the Jean Bart, part of the Richelieu-Class of battleships for the French Navy. Hope you guys do enjoy this design and are able to put it to good use. If you do beat this build, I do ask that you guys give me proper credit for it. This can be a link from a side of the build, tweet to my channel, or this video if this does appear on social media sites. As long as you guys do give me proper credit, you're free for projects you guys are working on. Again, a big source thanks to Patreon supporter Derek Frost Westbrook for making this tutorial possible, and as always, feel free to check out my Patreon page. Link is always in my video descriptions. With that, thank you guys again so much for watching. As always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. This has been your 2x4, and I'll see you guys next time.